So we're here with Marianne Vargalik, who is the communicable disease nurse at Lewis County Public Health, and we're here today to talk a little bit about ticks. So ticks are quite prevalent in Lewis County.
Yep.
And so what are some of the symptoms you're looking for with a tick bite?
So if someone has a tick bite and they know it's a tick bite and they've removed it, they need to keep track of the site anywhere from 3 days up to 30 days. You're looking for, most people, you're looking for what we call bullseye rash, where there's redness, then a white circle, and then another red circle, looks like a bullseye. Some people have EM rashes, so it can be a blotchy rash. Sometimes the rash is near the tick site or away from where the tick bit you. So you really need to check your whole entire body going forward from when you got bit by the tick through the next 30 days.
Okay.
You can have fever, you can have malaise, not feeling well, aches and pains in your body, flu-like symptoms, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things. Always document on a calendar if you've taken the tick off. Touch base with your healthcare provider, because not all tick bites need to get treated depending on the situation. Some doctors are treating people with just a dose of an antibiotic. Some are doing it for a few days to a couple of weeks, depending on the situation. So always touch base with your healthcare provider.
And what are some of the diseases that ticks carry?
Ticks can carry, Lyme disease is the one that we see a lot of in Lewis County. There's anaplasmosis, babiosis, ehrlichiosis, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Powassan, and tularemia.
Okay. And so when are people most vulnerable to getting a tick bite or acquiring ticks?
So if you're outside, ticks like to live on closer to the ground and any kind of shrubbery that's probably hip high and lower. So as you're going through any kind of brush in the woods, even around your yard, if there's any kind of brush around there, ticks will live on that. And you brush up against them and then they cling to you and then crawl up your body. So pretty much they start lower to the ground, then get on by your feet and your ankles and then crawl upwards on your body.
And what are some of the best ways of preventing encountering ticks?
So obviously when you go outside, wearing long sleeve shirts, long pants, having socks where you tuck in your pants into your socks, and wearing some kind of boot. You don't want to be out in the woods with sandals on because ticks will actually love that. So protecting all your uncovered skin, making sure it's covered, is the best thing to do.
Okay. And are there things that you can buy that help repel ticks?
Yep, there's products that have DEET in it. There's some natural products. So always, again, read the label to make sure you're using it appropriately. If you're going to be putting these products and lotions and sprays on babies or children, an adult should be applying them, and always wash your hands after applying these products, because you don't want to ingest the lotion or product on your hands. And certainly you don't want to get in your eyes because it bothers. And always read the labels, because the products, even if they're natural products, if you don't use them correctly, can be toxic to people and to animals.
Okay. And I know we've talked about a lot about, like, going out into the woods and things like that. Even like in your garden, is that an environment where ticks are likely as well?
Yep, you can find them, especially if there's deer around and the deer are dropping the ticks in your garden. Mm-hmm. Typically, there's actually a pattern or that you can do to keep ticks away. So you can use mulch or keeping weeds down. So you have an area where you have the brush around your clearing tall grass and brush around your home is always important. Mm-hmm. You can place a 3-foot wide barrier using either rocks or some kind of mulch or wood chips, even around the playground, so that prevents the ticks from living in the grass or where the children are going to be playing.
Okay. And as far as how many varieties of ticks do we see here in Lewis County?
So there are a couple of varieties. There's the our black-legged tick, also known as the deer tick. We have the woodchuck tick. There is the dog tick. Those are the ones that I hear about. There's the Lone Star tick, which I have not had any sightings of that in Lewis County. At least when they come and surveillance our county, they have not found those ticks. Pretty much we see the black-legged or the deer tick.
Okay. And then some ticks are more likely to carry different diseases than other ticks?
So, right. So not all ticks carry Lyme disease, and not all ticks, and some ticks carry other diseases besides Lyme disease, such as babiosis, anaplasmosis, Powassan disease. So those are some other diseases they carry. So typically if someone has been bitten by a tick and they ruled out Lyme disease, they should also be testing for other tick-borne diseases.
Okay. And what are some of the environmental factors that impact tick populations?
So if there's an increase in our mice, the field mice that ticks like to hang on to, and they'll live on on those mice. If you have an increase in mice population, you're going to have an increase in ticks, which can also, they live on our deer. So if you have a lot more deer, you're going to have a lot more ticks.
Okay. And then like weather factors, if it's, you mentioned something about like in winter times.
Yep. So in wintertime, ticks are pretty resilient, and doesn't matter how much snow we have. The snow acts as a blanket for the ticks, so they actually survive underneath the snow, and they get from point A to point B by traveling on the mice that actually go underneath the snow. So in order for ticks to die in the wintertime, the temperatures have to be rather cold and dry. So they like it to be very dry and cold.
Okay. So your best advice to somebody that has a known tick bite and has removed the tick, generally you don't need to seek physician's care unless you're experiencing other symptoms after the fact.
That's what I would recommend. I also recommend removing the tick correctly. You don't want to use any kind of products to remove the tick, because the germs of the bacteria that will make us sick live in the stomach of the tick. So anything you do to that stomach and you aggravate that stomach, it's going to regurgitate or puke its stomach back into your blood, and that's where the transfer of bacteria occurs. So removing the tick correctly by using sharp tweezers and holding the tick, getting closest to your skin by the head of the tick, on the mouth of the tick, and holding on very firmly and keep pulling that tick up and out, and it will pop. They hang on pretty good because they have barbed teeth, barbed mouth. So you really want to grasp the tick by the head or the mouth, and where it enters the skin, and pull it up and firmly and get it out. Obviously wash the area off with either peroxide or an alcohol swab, and that will help the site. You can use soap and water, and we always recommend you can cover the site with a over-the-counter antibiotic ointment and a Band-Aid, but always mark your calendar and let your healthcare provider know. Not everyone wants to have an antibiotic, and that's okay, but you still need to monitor your body going forward for 30 days.
Okay. And then here at Public Health, you do have some of the tick removal kits available.
Yep.
And you'll also be at the fair?
I'm going to be at the fair on Friday, July 19th with my kits, and I would like to have interaction with people. I'll have a video on how to remove a tick correctly going, and then I'll also provide the tick kits for free.
Okay, perfect. So then again, if anybody has any questions in the meantime, they can always contact Public Health.
Yep, I have lots of literature and information. If people would like, they can stop in. I'll be more than happy to give you the literature. My tick kits I'm saving for the fair. And I could mail things in the mail to you if you want information about ticks and Lyme disease, one of the other diseases. The New York State website is has good information. CDC website also has good information about ticks and Lyme disease, and Lewis County Public Health, our website also has good information.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Yep.
Have a great day.